All right, we're on. Hey, less social, less bullshit, less open, man.
Just checking how good I've been with not going on Instagram and all them other apps.
How good have you been?
Very good.
What does that mean on a
I've
scale of
saved enough time to fly from LA and back. It's telling me.
that's the flex. Imagine that. Rocking up to a social, it's like, how good's your social been? I can fly to LA and back. Got a bunch of time back. Very good. Well done. Well done.
Okay, welcome back
Welcome back, friends.
to another week of M&D weekly recaps.
M&D weekly recaps. Still TBC placeholder for what we're calling this.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us again. We're in a new location. Where are we today?
we are in just outside of Whistler
Mm-hmm.
in a campground called Cal-Cheak.
Cal-Cheak.
Yep,
Yep.
beautiful spot here in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a river right behind us, or a stream.
May or may not hear it on the microphones picking up.
Yep.
It's probably about minus 10 degrees. I mean, that's an exaggeration.
That's definitely an exaggeration.
We have done a couple of cold plunges
Yep.
in the morning.
Yes. I've braved it.
Got to be done.
Yeah. Definitely a very good wake up.
One
Doing
of
cold water.
one of the most, probably the most effective natural stimulants in the morning. Other than, we have coffees, you have all sorts of things you can do, but
Yeah.
when you put your body into that stress response and it kicks in after that first minute of pain and tingles, kind of
I
actually
will
feels
caveat though, something that for females, it's not always a good idea to be doing ice baths, as social media
It's a good catch.
touts that, ice baths are the best thing. It's not always the case. If you're already in a stressed out
That's
state,
very true.
you shouldn't be putting your body under more stress as it fucks with your hormones and does all that shit. So,
Focus on removing the involuntary stress first from your life
yeah.
and your lifestyle,
Yeah.
so you can then bring in your
Which is a good segue because I think we have been living a life that has been stress free, which is really cool.
boom. That was very
We've
smooth.
been sleeping
Yes.
like 9 to 10 hours every single night in our van. There's no noise. We have like the most sound sleep.
I'm not being woken up by 7 a.m. traffic,
No.
and schools, and
No.
and honking.
Or an alarm to go to work. We don't set alarms. We've been eating like really simple, fresh cooked meals.
Yeah. It'd fill us up, and then I just like
Yeah.
snacky crap.
And we've been really active and then doing like stuff that supports our mind and creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So we're in a good place to be doing like cold plunges or like jumping in a freezing cold river in the morning. Yeah.
And the catch that I fell onto, that you may as well, depending on what your newsfeed looks like, is when I was in probably a bad, stressful place for life, career, whatever. There's this bias we have called the halo effect, where what happens is you may tend to look at someone that you admire online and you see, let's say, a particular habit that they share or they promote. And because you associate their success and the life they live with everything they do, must be beneficial, must by products be, the same silver bullet that I need to have. The halo effect is that bias to associate everything. I'd see someone doing cold showers and 5 a.m. wake ups and, 20-step morning routines, thinking that that was going to solve all the actual issues in my life. But that was actually avoiding and distracting me from addressing some issues I had with my lifestyle, with my relationships, with my health. So I think it's a very nice disclaimer to focus on the fundamentals before you add the trendy, shiny objects that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just like such a wealth of information out there that's so generic and just like no context,
unqualified,
no like apply it to your individual situation, what's actually sustainable for you. Like, I mean, I have so many gripes with, anyway, we'll leave it there.
All right, we'll cap that for another rant. That'll be just the M rant side quest.
It's okay.
Cool.
But yes,
we felt drawn to sharing in this recap as we zoomed out on this week, and we made an exercise of looking at like some of the events and experiences that we had, rather than drilling down and just like giving you a word vomit of everything we did. There was a theme that came through, and many of those in our circle and in our friends and that we're influenced by. And if you're listening to this, you're probably someone that has a multi-passionate kind of like makeup. of lots of things you like to enjoy to do, but the world or people around you have told you that you can't pursue all of them simultaneously. Or that you need to pick something and,
Well, the world tries to box you in,
box
right?
you in.
Like, I think, or it sometimes you feel like something that you do want to do. It's like you got to make that your whole life, but you really don't. You can just delve into each of those very seemingly unrelated areas, and it fills you up. But it doesn't have to be like, you just need to go do that one thing, which I think is what I struggled thinking that, like, yeah, I had to sacrifice, say, for example, my creativity for my love of working in the health industry. You know what I mean? Or like my love of plants or being out in nature. It's like, it doesn't really fit into working in healthcare, but it is just part of who I am.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because the last week we have felt like we've been able to dive into all of those different boxes in this 1 week, which has been like the reason why it has been the best week. Well, we just felt
such a fulfilling week.
Yeah, we just felt we looked at the week and we're like, oh my God, I feel like every day is just like such a good day, even though each day was different. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, to go a bit meta, and how I came to think about boxing in and specializing is like, when you are come 17, 18, whatever age you are, when you have to make this life altering decision about what you're going to study for your degree. And if you are watching this and you're of our age, chances are you're probably maybe not working in the field that you originally studied for with maybe your very first degree, because you've pivoted, you've gone peripheral, you've changed things ever since. But at that point in time, that felt like the life defining decision you had to do. And there's so many times when we feel like we have to make these commitments to these like industries or jobs or professions. And then in hindsight, you can be like, I have pivoted and navigated and stacked skills and compounded, and I'm a human. I'm not a robot. I'm not just like, built to do one thing for the rest of my life. You have this full spectrum of interests. And so we called this week, like, we looked at this week and we're like, if you're on the fly on the wall and looked at what we did over the last 7 days, like, it doesn't follow convention.
Doesn't have a rhyme or reason.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. And we love that.
Yeah.
And it goes against, I think, what we've been told. We can go from cold plunging in the morning to, working and setting up as like digital nomads in a co-working space, getting shit done, to then, I don't know, having a culinary experience at a beautiful restaurant, gluten-free, friendly, of course. And then
going on like a full day hiking adventure, like one day just chilling out bumming around in our van, like no day looks the same. That's how we like it.
And that's like,
yeah,
that's why I think we felt more fulfilled at the moment. We've had times when we've done great work and exercised our mind, times when we've had meaningful conversations and we've slowed down and been present with our environment and with ourselves.
Yeah.
We've had times where, like, we have been feeling all sorts of pains in every joint in our body, 27 kilometers into like an amazing all-day hike.
Yeah.
And that's all within 1 week. And there's something that I think we haven't felt okay. Not okay to do that, but...
Well, we just like couldn't really do that. Well, I couldn't really do that back home when I'm working full time. Like, yeah. I feel like you just get into a routine at home.
Yeah. And then you tell yourself, or you limit yourself and say, I have to accept this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if you, in this case, Mads, like at the moment you're in that rut, and you probably at the moment don't have that luxury of like just going abroad and doing a trip like this. What are the baby steps that like you and I have both been taking over the last couple of years to go, okay, I can't fulfill all of my creative desires through my line of work because my line of work maybe inherently isn't creative. How did you start bringing in and start scratching that creative itch in other areas of your life? Because it's not an overnight rip the Band-Aid decision. It's like a thing you slowly start incorporating. How did you bring that back into your life in the last couple of years, last couple of months even?
Well, I think it's just like it's hard because some people, can't afford to drop down their hours from full time.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's always ways, to reduce your expenses. And I was fortunate that I could drop down to less than full time and then have more time to go into those creative or other passions that I had.
Yeah.
But I think it's still possible to just like find those moments and prioritize them to give yourself time to do that.
Yeah.
Is that what you were meaning?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I was fortunate that, yeah, I did make some career moves and changes that did, I think, spark like some creativity or like writing or more research or more teaching, different skills. So there's that. And then, yeah, I think it's just about prioritizing whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
As best you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other?
Yeah, I think the common thread that we've been experiencing this year is acknowledging there's a trade-off to all the things you do. And in order to say yes to something, I think you first need to get really clear on what you're saying no to. So as an example, like to what, off the back of what you said, if you have the capacity to, let's say, negotiate with your employer, your clients, or whatever kind of line of work that you do, and you say, hey, I might decide to earn less or work one less day a week. And yes, that means that my income might take a slight, small reduction, not a massive reduction, just a slight reduction. But you use that extra day to pour into yourself, your family, your loved ones, your creative hobby, your side project, whatever it is that you're working on. You know that longer term, you'll be more fulfilled because, it'd be unreasonable to suddenly expect that your job or your employer might suddenly start giving you creative license to do whatever you want. That's what I mean. It's just a baby step. It's just like one small decision to say, yep, I'm doing this intentionally. And I think, yeah, on my side as well, making those decisions to say, hey, I'm going to deprioritize, let's say, Netflix or having a crazy wild social life or saying no to a lot of invites.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely just have to do that.
Yeah.
I think if you're not willing to do that, then it's not important enough for you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I think understanding that like when you are able to pour into the things that light you up, it's going to help with your overall health and well-being. And then you're going to be a better person all around in every single different area of your life.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about understanding the importance of what you need to be fulfilled.
I, as your partner, observing when you said you went from full-time paramedicine and you were able to shift because of, studying other arrangements and you went to like,
oh yeah, 0.7
0.7
was like the best.
Then what does 0.7 mean to someone who doesn't get 0.7?
Well, full-time is like 1.0. So like I was not completely 0.5, which I guess you would call like part-time. Well, I'm still part-time, but yeah, I was working 0.7, which in my job, I did heaps of overtime. So it was only a little bit less than full-time, but it took away a whole shift every week, which was just gave me back ample time. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And I could see as like, the partner and living in that a lot of things that mattered to her, whether it was literally just like, I think you used the phrase like tottering around the house and like how much you said you just enjoy a day when you do that.
Yeah, like I got to like go into my garden and like, just like, or like, just like make my house look nice or like stay with my cat.
Cat, like, and just pouring back into yourself. That was so nice to see because I was like, I can't give you what I think you need at the moment, And it's, and I just want, to that to be like a practical example. Because I'm very aware that when you're driving around in a van and you can kind of set your own days and do whatever.
That's not applicable to people back
home. Not applicable to everyone.
Yeah.
But I think, baby stepping into it and just having those small little wins or focus areas every single month to be like, hey, am I on track? Hey, how am I feeling in this area? Hey, am I scratching that itch? Because now I feel really, really grateful that we can fluidly move between all of those kind of not personas, but kind of that energy of like, cool, we want to do something that's physically engaging, mentally engaging, spiritually engaging, and it's taken a long time to probably get to this kind of feeling. Because the other alternative is that I was worried, or I was anticipating that we'd come overseas and we'd still have the same mindset of like go, 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 of feeling like we always had to be on and productive and working all the time. But I'd say in the last kind of like year or so, we've both been kind of changing up our lifestyles a lot with both work and what we do. And I think just navigating, different kind of like different energy. And I think that's really helped how we've been like living this kind of lifestyle here.
Something I want to clarify is that not everyone is a multi-passionate being. There are some people that don't have heaps of different interests that are like seemingly unrelated, and that's okay too. We have done a lot of like delving into, I guess, different like spiritual kind of teachings and different human design or whatever it is. And it's interesting because we've gotten from that like a bit more reassurance that we are multi-passionate beings, if you believe it or not. But I think when we read that, it was like, holy shit, this like explains everything in my life. It explains why I put myself in so many different areas and can enjoy it, or like, be quite talented at it or good. For me, like I love my gardening. I love being outdoors. I love being active. But I also love like my arts and crafts. I also love my cooking. Like I also love like learning and teaching, and I love being in, paramedics when I was in there, and midwifery now. And it's just like there's so many different areas that I love. And I guess for so long I felt so torn, and because like, you have to make a career. It's like, well, which one do I choose? I could pick all of them. Yeah. But yeah, I think hearing that it's just okay to be that way gave me a lot of like peace and understanding for like why I was that way. Not everyone is like that, but it was really reassuring to like understand that there's probably a bit of a makeup, and I see it in you as well, where we both have lots of different interests, and that is kind of just a part of who we are.
And that if you do have lots of different interests, you don't have to, as you said, build a career or monetize or do that of all of them. I think that's the confusing message that we're told. I think there's a popular phrase is like, do what you love, or if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I'm like, maybe the slight nuance or the pushback I have on that is if what you love doing either isn't like valuable to the marketplace or there's an actual like need for it, then you can just do it just to enjoy it because it fills you up. Because you enjoy doing it. Like I enjoy basketball, but I'm not getting signed by the NBA. I'm too small. There's no chance of me getting signed, but I can still enjoy it. And just shoot hoops on the weekend and do it recreationally, as an example. Or, as you said, whether it's plants or cooking or whatever.
Like pottery.
Or your pottery. It's like, we don't have to. But yeah, there is a feeling that everything has to amount towards something. You need to build something around it, and not really.
No.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do like try and monetize, I know that kind of happened a bit with my pottery when you kindly gifted me the website. I all of a sudden felt a bit like cramped, and like I had to, I don't know, it just kind of stifled that flow and creativity that I had with it being like, oh, I've got to sell it, or like, I don't know. I think sometimes it's okay for it to just be a hobby. Yeah.
I think that was a really good lesson. In fact, I think that was really good as a signal to you, or to get feedback, to be like, if you were to monetize it and this is what it would look like, hypothetically, how did you feel in yourself for it? And you were the best one to decide that answer. I think
a lot of creatives or artists have that. Is like when it changes from just being you making whatever you want to them feeling like you've got to change it to make it for the market. Yeah.
When there's a commercialization, it kind of robs the innate pleasure. Because often the real reward you get from some of these creative pursuits is the doing, is the actual like process. It isn't the end result and who you're marketing or trying to sell it to. And I had a similar experience with DJing. I've shared it a few times openly, but why I no longer take on wedding gigs to sell my art in the same way you don't feel compelled. Like you generously gift and provide your pottery to others. I said the same when I used to DJ charity events where we'd fundraise for causes I was really aligned with. I got more fulfillment from contributing my art towards that and the impact it had than receiving a good amount of money for pressing some buttons for 5 hours and playing the same set I've done over and over, but it just wasn't there. And I think that's a really big signal that not all art needs to be, or hobbies or interests, needs to be commercialized. What do you feel is is a new creative outlet that you're exploring while we're traveling at the moment? What's been yours?
Well, you know the answer to that.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know everything that you're exploring.
Well, I'm writing. That's the obvious one. But I'd say actually also like doing a lot of travel planning and like applying to house sits, although it's not like creative. It kind of is because you got to write and you got to like craft it to the application and create a profile. And yeah, I feel like researching about different spots, and I kind of just plan our whole trip. So yeah, I'd say that's a different area. Yeah.
If you were to zoom out, and I might be leading on with this question because I see it as your partner, but rather than just being an itinerary planner or just seeing it as booking trusted house sits.
Well, I'm crafting our experience.
Exactly. My word was either curating or crafting experiences.
Yeah.
And I that's the through line I see you do so well.
Yeah.
That you may not receive direct income from.
Yeah, no.
But you get so much satisfaction from the experience and from sharing it for others. Like when you did itineraries for your friends traveling to Europe, when you do it for bringing people together and organizing Bali with the friends, Mexico maybe later on this year, what we get to do. It's a real gift, and you I hope, or I think, get some enjoyment from it, and I hope it's not terrible.
No, it's just like, I don't know, I just naturally do it.
Yeah.
Just naturally tend to it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's freaking awesome at it. Which is cool.
I should be curating people's holidays. And
one of our friends that we traveled with, a beautiful German, her name is Natasha Joe, said, you guys should organize retreats or getaways with the two of you where you help people have these he was joking about breaking a lifelong kind of smoking habit. Kind of help people break through a particular level or whatever it is they're trying to get through in their life. Just because you have an amazing way of.
Well, we were just really encouraging of him and giving him the support that he needed while we were traveling together.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think where your skill or interest kind of crosses over with something I'm really interested in is bringing people together and creating experiences or environments for growth, for meaningful conversations, for stepping out of your regular routine or regular life. And often we find that through travel and through going to places that are inspiring or that are creative or that are novelty. So you definitely glossed over the writing part, but you want to give a little...
No, I don't.
a little plug or a little spiel as to what has been your relationship with writing or wanting to start?
I don't know where it came from, to be honest. I think I've always had to write for work or for, especially when I went into academia, I had to write a lot. But I've always been a bit of a journaler. Yeah. So I just writing. Yeah. Writing about our travel life, but not your typical oh, we went here, we did this, go to this place, it's the best, or whatever. It's more the stories, emotions, the lessons, the more the behind the scenes stuff that you can't get from Instagram or from a photo or from a video. It's the real stuff. Yeah. And I also just want to write, there's so many things that I've gone through in the last, 7 years of my own personal journey of I guess going into paramedics and hitting burnout and my own health challenges and how far I've come in my health knowledge. And I guess I have so many people come to me for, especially women, health related stuff, or I guess they maybe look to to me because I do know so much about, hormones and, reproductive health, all of that kind of thing. It's been a big passion of mine. So I just thought I'm going to just put it out there.
And you
No monetization, no pressure, just like, and it's been a really nice creative endeavor. And I was feeling very like torn. I have not posted anything you haven't either, on social media since we started this trip, and we're like, almost 3 months in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months in. And I just wanted to get really clear, like, how I was going to show up and document it. And I think I've found that through writing on Substack. Yeah. Very early days still, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I am enjoying it so far. Oh, sorry, my eye is really itchy.
And not early enough that I'm not going to include a link to Madison's Substack underneath, above, next to, in the description, in the caption. Send the word Substack and I'll send you the link to Maddy's and you can give it a follow. At this
I
point
do
in the
want some
process.
accountability too, right?
Yes.
And I think when I have followers, that will help.
I think the funny thing is, even though it seems like writing publicly, like whether it's for me newsletters or video or for you, is, even though it seems like you're writing for an audience, I still actually think the benefit is you're doing it for yourself, because I can see it's giving you structure and deadlines, and it's kind of like it's like Parkinson's law. What is it? Work expands to the time that it's afforded. So when we journal and we write tidbits and when we do things, it's all loose and unstructured, never really goes anywhere. But when it's like, probably every week you aim to have one piece put together, it kind of directs and focuses all of your energy towards like, seeing experiences and jotting them down, and then, putting time actually into your calendar to give yourself the gift of writing and processing your thoughts.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a slight blessing that like no one's reading it initially, although I think you've got 2 subscribers, while you find your voice and you get those reps up so that when you are ready to,
put it out to the world,
you've already got that rhythm, momentum and that confidence in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud that you're making it happen.
I'm so sorry. My eye is full. I need to put...
Don't apologize to me or the
Allergy.
audience. She's got an allergy and she's owning it, and it's all good.
Something's gotten into the eye.
Damn.
Side note, for ages, I struggled with itchy eyes, and I was like, why do I have so fucking itchy? Then I went to the doctor and got tested. Turns out I have an allergy to grass, but it just manifested as itchy eyes. And then I did start to get the nose, runny nose and all that shit. But if you're struggling with itchy eyes, it could be allergies, just saying.
All right. Well, before Maddy tears up and blows up in her face, do you have any
final thoughts?
Any thoughts for, what's coming ahead? We're recording this just on the turn of the half of 2024.
Yeah.
We get to the second half. What's been something that's come top of mind as we've navigated this new shift in season and the solstice and change in astrology that you're more across? Do you have any sage wisdom to share as we head into the second half?
Oh, I thought you meant like, what are we thinking for our second half? But wisdom for the collective? No.
Wisdom for the collective, the people watching this. What are your... What's astrology saying?
I don't know. I haven't read into it enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you might have teased with me the other day and said, astrology says there's a big change happening.
Yeah, there is, but I can't remember it enough to tell the audience.
Cool. Yeah. Well, what change is happening for us? What are we doing?
We are... I'm sorry, I can't. This is...
Eyes are pretty bad?
No.
Damn. All right, my friends, leave it to me. I'll wrap things up. Thanks for sticking around on this one. Maddy's got to get her eyes sorted, and we'll catch you again for another weekly recap wherever we're on the road. Much love.